Guru team, welcome back to Vigor. Right, we're 10 episodes in, and so I'm going to do things a little bit differently from here on in, because like a lot of, I guess, looter shooters is what we're going to call this, is that there's an awful lot of repetition vis-a-vis running around shooting and being shot. Not necessarily in that order. So yeah, so offline, I've done a little bit of running around, and that's what you're watching in the background in sped up mode, is because a lot of it is sort of very similar, right? So you've probably got the idea by now, 10 episodes in, as to the game, and also as to how good I am at the game or not, depending on how you want to take that. Bearing in mind that one of the reasons that I was doing Vigor was to get better with PvE stuff for DayZ, ironically, which you may find out why that's ironically if you catch up with my Season 2 DayZ series when that starts, which shall be very shortly. So while you're just watching this, I had some wins and some losses, but I had some trouble getting in. The servers seemed still a bit unstable, and it took about 4 goes, I think, to get my first match sorted. Once the connection seemed to be sorted, it seemed to be fine after that. It seemed to be okay, but it was still a bit dicey. I don't know if that is apropos of anything in particular whatsoever, or just the state of the world, or I don't know. Anyway, that was the situation. So there you go. So that was one thing. Otherwise, the usual kind of stuff. I decided this time around to maybe be a little bit more honest about my abilities and really stick to focusing on looting for the base building. So rather than running out and trying to do the container or do the barred house or any of that kind of stuff, I just decided to go out and just grab some loot and work to, I guess for me, and it depends on how you want to play the game, but I mean, I guess for me, Vigor, a bit of the perhaps different thing to Vigor than to some of the other games is the improvements back at base. I don't know if it's groundbreakingly different, but it's certainly something. I think one of the main issues is being able to build your own weapons and ammo and support how you do that, because I guess that's probably a bigger bit of the game. So for me, it's part of trying to get enough stability, I guess, on the basis that every time you go out you could lose everything, and if every time you go out you could lose everything, then you need to be able to have enough resources and have enough things back at base to remake some of those things. And sometimes you'll have wins and sometimes you'll have losses and everything else, but hopefully the idea is that you get more wins than losses. So that's generally the situation for now. So you can carry on watching the rest of me running around various maps and listen to a little bit of music, and at the end of it I'll bring you in for just a little brief chat before we duck out. So I'll see you then. So here we are back at base, and what does that mean after all of that running around? Well, very little, to be honest. Very little. We can't do anything more with the crafting table because we need the shelter to go up to level 5 before we can do anything about that. We have the water distillation unit which we could build, and as we've noted before, it says it reduces crafting time and cost of instant craft. I'm not bothered about spending things on instant craft, and crafting time really probably isn't hugely important to me, so there's not really much need to do that unless there's some burning need to do it to get up to the next level, which I don't see so far. We have the rat trap, which generates food. Food being something that you can donate for what is it? Gratitude. And you get so much gratitude, you get a crate. There's a couple of things about that. One is I can't be bothered with that. Might be an end-game kind of a thing, but I'm not really bothered about donating food. For a start, you need a lot of food. So I'm not going to worry about that right now because it's just not important enough to me, and I'm just wasting stuff. I'm wasting 20 wire, 20 nails, and 20 fertilizer on something that has no value to me whatsoever. The wooden log generates materials. Again, very little in the way of any kind of use to me right now. Materials are great for crafting things, do not get me wrong, but we have some issues with that, and I'll get stuck in that shortly. And really, the one thing we have that we want to get involved with is this thing for producing crowns per day. Now we're just short of metal parts, but we are a yard and a half short of electronics. So that's a bit of a problem because we really need to get some more electronics to be able to move forward with that one. So that's kind of our go-to with that. So that's sort of what we're still working on, and we just simply haven't gotten any. In those runs that we did, um, I think we found like two or three, not a lot anyway. So the other thing is this stuff. So remember I talked about crafting weapons? So I'm not bothered about apparel, but I am bothered about weapons. And you can only buy the plans here, I think. Um, they might come in crate rewards or other things, like I've said. I'm not 100% sure. I can't guarantee anything about anything in relation to plans because I don't I don't recall where I got the Thompson submachine gun plan, which is the only plan I have. So I could make a Thompson submachine gun. So there you go. And maybe you get that at the beginning of the game, so you've got at least one gun that you can build with materials. So that if you do end up being a total dunce at this game, you can end up getting yourself something. Um, so what in particular I would like is actually under the assault rifles, and I think this is fine. You know, I think if I can get a plan for this, which is a basic assault weapon, and I guess that means once I've got the plan for this, I can always build it from materials. Then I'll be happy. And it's only 149 crowns. So my next goal is to not spend any crowns and just keep farming crowns and winning crowns up until I get 149 crowns. This submachine gun that I'm using is not bad. I had a couple of run-ins with it, and it seemed to do the job. It's not really a drama, but it is 749 crowns, which is interesting because some of the higher end machine guns, sorry, assault rifles, are less than that. So like the Bugle, the Maz, whatever, you got the M4. Um, these things. What were we using before? Can't remember. So a lot of the assault rifles are actually a little bit cheaper than the submachine guns, um, which is something of a surprise. Something of a surprise. Um, that's probably where I'm going to be going. The rifles, yes, the rifles are good, but I think you probably have to be a better shot with rifles than I currently am. Um, to be able to make them work. Not saying that we didn't like the Gewehr. We did. And the VSS was alright, but we didn't have much joy with it. Um, there's a couple of other rifles here. The M21 might be okay. Uh, the probably want to steer away from the bolt actions. I did try the M2 carbine and that was okay. The Mosin's a bit slow. So what I mean, we'll say the Mosin's slow. It's like you can 99, but I mean it's real slow. You can't get into you can't get into combat with that. You might be able to get into combat with that, but I think again for me, I'd like to have a basic assault rifle on the cards, and it's probably going to be the VZ58P. Now, of course, you can buy crowns for real life money in real life places, and I have real life needs for my real life money, so I'm not into microtransactions. I'm not into buying my way to the stuff that I need. I'm into playing my way to the stuff that I need. So, you can call me crazy, you can call me whatever, but that's pretty much the situation. We did the shootouts. The shootouts are fine. But obviously the issue with the shootouts is that you only get crates out of it, and it's kind of hit and miss, really. So it's a good laugh, but what's the point? And the other thing is, where do we go to from here? So we are 32 encounters in, and we've got a survival rate of just over 50%. So it's 50-50 whether we get out alive or not, essentially. And we've extracted some things and some stuff has happened, but essentially that's it. So I'm kind of thinking, what do I do with this, and what's the next stages from here so that you aren't terminally bored about what's going on. I've also got quite a lot of other videos currently happening or in action, or there's things going on in the background that are happening, and so on and so forth. So my time in terms of drafting up these videos is a bit limited. So what I might do is I will probably carry on playing encounters and maybe see how we're going. Maybe bring you in. Let's say 10. So let's say in this case, let's get to encounter number 40, right? And we'll see how it goes with a plan that after that the next video will be encounter number 50, and we'll see how we're progressing then. If it turns out that 10 encounters is not enough, then we might have to go out to like 20 encounters. The only thing that, and the reason I want to do this video is, there might be quite a bit of time between Vigor videos, because like I said, I've got a lot of other projects on. My time is limited still, and I'm not really sure how much I'm going to be able to play Vigor to be able to get my way through 10 encounters and then cobble that all together and put it into a video. But I will bear it in mind, and we'll take it from there, and we'll see how we go, shall we? So there you go. So I appreciate it's been a little bit short, and that's fine. Sometimes short videos are good videos if they deal with the point. The point is, this is a looter shooter. You've probably not an awful lot of things to watch because an awful lot of it is repetitive. But my point is to kind of go through, for a mere mortal, as I am, prone to fallacies and cock-ups and various other bits and things. I wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of how long it roughly takes. Maybe you're stuck in the ground and you're like, how long does this take? Is it just me? I feel like I'm not doing so well. How are other people comparing to me? Are they suffering with the same frustration, etc.? Or it's on your list of games you think you might want to play, but you want to get a lowdown on what it really looks like. And hopefully my video gives you an indication of what that kind of takes and what that kind of looks like. So 32 encounters in. We're at base level 4. We're way down in the lifetime rankings in the 80 odd thousands. Which is what it is, and we're grinding our way forward, and we're going to see what it takes to get to where we need to get to, and we're on our way to level 12. So I guess that's it. So I guess we'll leave it there. So, yeah, do stick with it. Do click the like button. Do subscribe to the channel. Do feel free to let me know what you think. How would you like the season to play out? Do you think every 10 is a sensible way to do it? You know, what would you like to see? Do you want to see more? Do you want to see me focus on trying to get some more expensive loot drops, etc., etc.? Do let me know. Until then, I will see you all again real soon. Ta-ta for now.